What's up YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for you of a pretty cool pocket knife. Hey, if you guys like the content, hit that like button down there. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of it. I appreciate it. And thanks to all my subscribers, channel members, Patreon. If you're interested in that, Patreon's link down below. Really appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This one is the PMP Knives Big Boy XL. This is definitely one that lives up to its name, I'd have to say, for sure. Get a good close-up look at it. Just did an unboxing of this one last week. Got a chance to carry it, handle it, and this is the full review. So, before I get into it too much more, go ahead and do the overall specs on this one. Get out the tape measure here. Alright, so PMP Knives Big Boy XL, you're looking at from the tip of the blade. Let's go right there. Tip of the blade all the way to the end of the handle. You're looking right at, not to say 9 and a little over 9 3/4, maybe 9 7/8. Yeah, 9 7/8. Pretty large knife for sure. Oh, go ahead and do the blade. So blade length overall, if you go from the tip of the blade all the way where it meets up with the handle, you're looking at 4.5 inches. If you go all the way back there where you're grabbing that flipper tab, if you look at sharpened edge length, you're looking at 4 1/8. So definitely every bit of an XL knife. Past full size and large, what I would call most definitely an XL knife. Blade stock thickness, thickest part of the spine, 137 thousandths. Behind the edge, 20 thousandths. Goes down pretty thin right there. It's cool. Let's see. Let's get this on the fattest part of the handle. 0.61 of an inch. You know, definitely a big bulky handle, but not an issue, especially whenever you got such a good large size knife. And how large is it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go ahead and do size comparisons here. That is the Cold Steel Knives 80/20.5. Big Boy XL is, you know, dwarfing that essentially with overall length anyway. Not quite as bulky, but definitely an overall length. Alright, so that's Demco Knives 80/20.5. Give you a good idea of how large this thing is. Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 and Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. Looks like a sword compared to the Rat 2, right? Definitely a large knife. Definitely an XL knife for sure. Last but not least, Spyderco Knives Paramilitary 2. That one wearing the Lightning Nano by Mr. Eddie scales on there, and S45 VN, and Spyderco Knives Para 3. So way bigger than the Para 3, a good bit bigger than the Paramilitary 2. Alright, get out the scale here. Overall weight on this thing, man, I don't know. I'm guessing around 6.5 ounces. You know, which I guess I guess that I just guess at the weight, you know, at this point, just to give you guys a good laugh out there. Maybe I'm usually way off, but let's go ahead and put it on the scale. It kind of feels like about 6.5 ounces right there. 6.7, not too far off, not as far off as I usually am. Looks like 6.8. Do it one more time. 6.8. Whoop. 6.7, final answer. Alright, 6.7 on that, so definitely over the ounce and inch ratio, but thanks to the incredible length of that thing, not too far. So got a deep carry clip there. Alright, and even with the deep carry clip, you still got a little bit sticking out, especially with that lanyard spot right there, lanyard hole, whatever you want to call that. Definitely one thing that surprised me about this one is whenever I was carrying it, it carries a lot better than I expected. You know, it doesn't disappear in the pocket like a bug out or something, you know, like that. But I mean, it definitely surprised the heck out of me carrying this thing for sure. You got dual sided pivot there, not a single sided captive pivot, so keep that in mind if you're taking it apart. T8 on that, and I think these are gonna be all, yeah, I think these are all gonna be T6s. Get out my handy dandy NAFS driver here. T6, T6, yeah, so T8 on the pivot, not a single side captive pivot, T6 on everything else. Not too much hardware on this, that's a good thing, but yeah, I really would like if those were T8s, and I really would like it if the pivot was captive and single sided, you know. But taking it apart carefully, shouldn't have too many issues there. So all the specs out of the way, overall thoughts on this. Let's start at the blade. 14C 28N, which is a good steal for the price. This one's averaging around 65 bucks everywhere I look for it. Really nice cut out there. You can't, it's not a finger choil, you know, unless you want to put your finger there and keep it gripped right there, pulling back, you can do that. But if you want to rest it, you're going to end up contacting that cutting edge. So pretty much right there is where you're locked in. You can choke back. You know, I have large size, I wear a large size glove, average hands, I guess you could say. And I definitely have a ton of extra room, you know, whenever grabbing this knife for sure. And it feels pretty secure, pretty locked in. The blade also what I would call a straight back. Maybe a drop point, kind of drops down right there. Neat little swedge right there on the end of it. You got PMP knives, or PMP Big Boy XL 14C 28N, which is an awesome blade steel, you know, especially for a budget knife. This one, I would consider that because it's 65 and under if you find them available, which is a pretty good price on that, I think. Jimping right there on your liner lock, you know, and great access to that liner lock, no issues there, you know. You can definitely find the lock fairly easy to close it. Detent right about there, so where it clears that other detent ball, and it drops down pretty smooth, good action on it, running on bearings. Flipper action on it works great. You can fail it if you want, but not easily. I think for a single opening method, I think this one works pretty good. You know, the flipper tab's pretty comfortable. Got a little jimp in there going up on that side. You know, pretty comfortable there. The G10 on the handle, very nice. Pretty cool little grooves cut out there on each side. Well rounded. Gives you a nice little back spacer there. That's really cool. I really appreciate that, especially on a budget knife. That's something cool. Good thing to have there. The pocket clip is reversible. No issues, you know, me grabbing it like that. I don't feel a hot spot at all on the pocket clip. It's a really good knife. PMP put out a hell of a budget knife, as it turns out. They do have some really cool higher end offerings, the Titano being one of them, the Grizzly, the Kodiak, the Aries, you know, the Beast, the Alpha Beast. PMP makes some really awesome knives. Really cool knife. I definitely would recommend this one. Definitely going to be on my budget knives playlist for sure. And I think that's about it, man. You got that internal milling, do you? Do you have an internal milling on it? A little bit, not much. Not much weight reduction on this thing. But that's pretty cool how they put the backspacer on there. That is definitely a highlight of it for me. I like that a lot. And really comfortable in hand, man. Really grips really well. So definitely a recommendable knife. And I think that's about it, y'all. Appreciate everyone watching the content. Hey, if you made it this far, please hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Comment, let me know what you think about it. You know, let me know what your experience with this one or any PMP knives are. I'd be glad to hear about it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, y'all stay sharp.